Hey everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So today on the No Hope Estate, I have a very bad idea that we're gonna go do. We're gonna go fight the Alpha Crocodillian. Now, I have never actually fought the Alpha Crocodillian, despite the fact that Farmstead Plus, which this is a boss from, has been out for a very long time. Don't know why I haven't, but here we are on the No Hope Estate, where things are even harder, and I'm gonna go fight it on. This is a match made in heaven, isn't it? Anyway, the reason why I want to go do this is I had thought that I wanted to use a Legion in some ranged capacity, and the Cracked Mask is available, which makes the range capacity actually rather viable. So we're going to go get this, which means I have to fight the Alpha Crocodillian to do it. Now, I don't know how the Alpha Crocodillian is different than the normal Crocodillian. I'll find that out in actual combat. Now, the team that we're going to go in with is a bleeding team, of course, but also does damage versus bleeding, and we have Baliol the Uncrowned, which is going to do some shenanigans to the actual Alpha Crocodillian. We have a Trinket set up that is going to make some of the party do extra things, and we have Hemorrhage, which is going to be upping the damage received on the actual Crocodillian when we can land it. Otherwise, we do have Poison Knife, however, the blight chance is very minimal here. On a normal Crocodillian, on this difficulty, I think this would have like a 50% blight chance, so I'm really not counting on Poison Knife actually landing. I'm really more hoping for the Hemorrhage portion of this. And then, as an actual really big damager, we have Everscrate. However, the really big parts about this build here are, we have the Death Mark. This does plus 20% damage versus bleeding, which we have a bleeding party. On melee hit, we'll do a 1 for 5 bleed, which has a pretty good chance of going off, which once again, we have damage versus bleeding going off, and he does extra damage versus bleeding. And on bleed success, he will mark the target while they are bleeding, so will have a 5-turn mark that will consistently be going off, which I'll explain later, but we really want that mark for situations with the Krakenslayer. Now, otherwise, we do have the Bloody Feather on him, so he does extra damage versus bleeding. So realistically, he's doing about 45% more damage versus anything that's bleeding, on top of the fact of he's debuffing them to have plus damage received. So there's going to be a lot of extra damage flying at the Crocodillian just from Baliol here. Then we have our Falconer, who is going to be using Gouge. We're going to have her in Rogue form, so she does plus 80% damage while she is stealthed, and we have a Trinket to stealth her as well as Stalk. She has plus 80% damage versus bleeding, so she's going to be having two things that buffer for plus 80% going off, on top of other damage modifiers. Just in case, we do have Ravage, which does extra bleed amount versus marked. She'll be doing a 6 for 2 bleed instead of a 3 for 2 bleed. And then just as a reposition, we have Reposition. Her Stalk as well also gives her plus crit while she is stealth, so she will be critting more likely as well when using Gouge. For her Trinkets, we have the Blood Charm, so she does an extra plus 20% damage versus bleeding, has armor piercing versus bleeding, and will do an on-attack hit bleed. And then we have the Camouflage Cloak, which does extra crit while she is stealth, does an extra plus 25% damage while she is stealth, and on any action. She has a 33% chance of stealthing herself. Next up, we have Faintry, where things get even more hectic. So for her skills, we have Blood in the Water. This moves her forward and has a 2 for 6 bleed. However, will debuff the target to have a plus 50% bleed and blight duration received. So that 6 bleed duration may turn into a 9 bleed duration. We also have the Kill, which is armor piercing, plus 75% damage versus anything that's marked, and bleeding for a total of 150% if they're both, and does crit versus size 2, which I don't think the Crocodilian will be. We have Ebb and Flow to move and have a block, and we have Skewer to do a persistent bleed on the target. For her Trinkets, we have the Kraken Egg. This is scouting chance plus bleed chance, so better chance. Blood in the Water has that 2 for 6 bleed go off, and she can't be guarded, but no one in here can guard. Then we have the Ancestor's Letter Opener, so these skills have a better chance of going off. It also has a 1 for 4 bleed attached to it. And then finally, the final nail in the coffin here, we're going to be using Celine, our Duchess. She's going to be in beast form most of the time, and we're going to be using Crimson Downpour a lot. This ups the bleed amount received by 45%, and then does a 4 for 3 bleed. However, with the bleed amount applied up, that goes up substantially, and then everyone else also does more bleed. And then the bleed does more damage with the damage received from Baliol. That's mainly what we're going to be doing every other turn. And then either Thirst for Power to do another bleed and up the damage and protection on Selene, or Noble Obligation to do plus damage received on the Crocodillian. We have Noble Suma's Glare for plus crit plus accuracy, and we have Maciek's Head to just make sure these debuffs land. So that's the plan. We'll see how this holds up in actual battle, because there's a lot of moving pieces. But yeah, that's the plan for the Crocodillian. Now, before we go in there, because some people like seeing this portion of it, I have a few things that I wanted to upgrade in the districts portion, because I have fully upgraded the guild and the blacksmith now. So I'm going to be buying the amphitheater. So this gives me, because of Cerebral's district reworks, this gives me amphitheater ribbons rather than the amphitheater like district that gives a few classes a few little bit of a buff. So if I use a ribbon on anyone, they get a plus 20% movement resist and minus 15% stress received. Now, this is a consumable, so I have to actually use it on someone. This is not something that is like a permanent effect. I'm not going to be using that for a while, but I do want to get those flowing in for fights down the line like the Raiju or the Night Parade, if I do those. Because those kind of act like the Kraken ribbons here, where they're going to take up slots. And, well, I'm not going to be using them for a while. But I do need to actually get them stacking up. I actually want to be going to the Crocodillian. So that being said, we're going to take a lot of supplies to make sure this actually goes off. And just be safe about it. And take some blood to trade as well. Now, it is worth mentioning that I am bringing holy water. So her max HP is going to be going down, and even if I get rid of all of this holy water, her max HP will stay down for the rest of the quest. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. Okay, it does say here, this croc acts different from the others, so expect a different fight. Well, we can definitely tell where he is. Torching through this. I did bring extra bandages for a reason, and we got ourselves a jute tapestry. That'll pay for some of the supplies. And hi, Collector, how you doing, buddy? This'll be a good test. You know, I'm gonna ambush him so he can't be guarded just in case. He's bleeded, he is marked. I'm going to Blood in the Water. This will up the bleed duration received, and he's bled for 4. I'm not going to transform yet because Crimson... Actually, yeah, we will, but Crimson Downpour will not be doing what I want, but, so we'll just do Thirst for Power on him, bleeding him. Oh, sure, now you do that. So Gouge can't hit him like I want, so we are just going to change to Rogue, and then Stalk. Now we're gonna Crimson Downpour him. He's bleeding for 10. He can't be guarded. I'm gonna Poison Knife him. That's also up in
as the fiend falls,
rounds received.
Blossoms.
Blood in the Water can't hit. So, yeah, we can just hit him with this. Or get rid of the Vestal, rather.
Obliterated.
Eye Thief, because he's marked, that'll bleed him. Bleeding for 19, blighted for 3, taking 22. That hurt just a tad. We're gonna Noble Obligation here, trying to pull him forward. He resisted, but I'm pretty sure he goes down now. Getting rid of the bleed. And we're gonna Fan of Knives, see what we can take out. Blighting everyone else.
As the enemy crumbles.
They really don't like Belial. Blood in the Water, taking out the Highwayman just in case.
Give them no quarter.
Flank, and he's down.
He's often
A raw 40 damages. Pretty nice. Take that Trapezohedron.
Hall. If you value such things.
Heal up. Default party order. No one really needs a stress relief yet. Alright, we'll see what this is. So let's do Blood in the Water. Take out the Tick if we can. Monstrous Affliction. Lead the back two. Bleed him out received. Bleed him out received. Okay. Ambush, so Strumpet can't be guarded. She'll also bleed out. Gouge onto Ghoul, just doing extra damage. Ouch.
Slowly, gently.
Just Ghoul left.
Our life is taken.
Thirst for power. Let for 13 and down he goes.
One's limits.
Taking what we can, we'll leave the Jade. Actually, we'll take it. Alright, what's in here? Take what we can, we'll leave the rest. Head on up. De-stress on Celine here. Tempted to heal up a tad. Wow, I am burning through these torches. Maybe I should have taken more. Hunger check, that's a little bit more of a heal. This one should be fine, I think. So if I gouge, we can probably take out that Tick.
Decimated.
Blood in the Water. Go for another Tick. I'm assuming they're bleeding. Alright. Ambush hitting the Butler. They bleed out. Noble Obligation on Twitching Maggot. They're down.
To the pit.
So everything bleeds out on their next action.
A death by inches.
Get rid of the bleed. And hemorrhage. Use that food to heal.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Heal a tad more. We'll leave that. I'll test this, see what we get. Usually heirlooms, but we can take those. Alright, heading on up. Good thing we dodged that. I'm gonna leave that because I do want to save some bandages for the boss. I actually need to default party order before I forget. We'll use one more shovel. Take the crests. A little leery on using this one, but we'll take the blood as a just in case. Alright, no more torch using unless it's for walls or some such. So I want to save one for the boss. We are going to flank. Hit the maggots.
Executed with
Maggots
impunity.
down. Ambush hitting Strumpet, making sure she can't guard, and that's a miss. Blood in the Water then hitting her. and then Affliction bleeding them.
The horror.
Just minus accuracy. It's not the worst thing in the world, it's not great. And then we're not going to hit her with Affliction, or Downpour, but we technically can bleed the Gargoyle. Just not the highest chance. I actually prefer him in monster form there. We're going to take out the Strumpet. By Noble Obligation, we might hold the Gargoyle at least so other people can hit him. Blood in the Water hitting Esquire. So he's bled for 10 out of 11. Yikes. If I could do one more damage to him, he would go down. So it's... What are our speeds here? 6, 9, 6. So we have a very good chance at going before the Gargoyle, so let's try to take out the Esquire there and miss. Okay. We tried. We tried. So Esquire bleeds out. We did not go for the Gargoyle, which is unfortunate. But now we can at least take it out. Take out Esquire. We did get another bandage, which is nice.
So too will
Fault Order again. Give him some blood, see if we get anything. I'm guessing it's a no. Tenacity Ring, Debuff Amulet, yeah. Expect the worst, hope for the best.
Watch your step.
Yikes. This is what's gonna give me the Crimson Curse, watch. Can we take down that Supplicant, please? Fire Bleed.
Eradicated.
Sycophant left, but it's gonna go first. It's gonna use a Thirst again, I'm guessing. 3 bleed. The Thirst. Somehow we dodge. There we go. Alright. Now I'm gonna leave the crests.
That overconfidence
I want my supplies.
and insidious killer.
Hunger check, heal up. 2 more rooms than the boss up there. No scout again. Need to default order. Dig through this, that's why we brought shovels. One more room and then we use the well, we can fight another Crocodillian here if we do well. I'll use the firewood at this room that they're guarding. So we're gonna bleed the... I really want to bleed the Bloodflower. I really don't like the Knight, so we're gonna skewer it. So that's a persistent bleed on him. We're gonna ambush on the Bloodflower. So now it's blood that's marked. Affliction, Downpour, so that'll get the Supplicant and the Bloodflower. We're gonna go all out on the Bloodflower because the Bloodflower can summon more Sycophants.
Impressive.
So it's bleeding for 8 out of 21, so we'll get it next action. No, don't become another monster. We do not want you eating your friends. At least it's just a small heal rather than bleeding me. Dodge that, that's good. Okay. Cool, cool. Do not. Okay. No Crimson Curse, I'm fine with that. If I do Fan of Knives, 7, 8... Realistically, it's enough to take the Knight out. And I just need to worry about these two, which I can do with these guys. So, Thirst for Power onto the Bloodflower, because that'll bleed it. And then Bloodflower goes down, and then I can just gouge onto the sycophant, and we win. Okay. And blood in the water, and bleed out this night. Bye-bye. See you later.
Death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
You know, I wish I scouted this last room here, so I knew if I could get, like, rid of the shovels or whatnot. So I would love to take some of this. But I'll leave it. Default order. What's in the room? We are gonna camp. Gonna feast for the health and the stress.
Furtive and vulnerable.
Especially because Celine here is doing not good stress-wise. I can prevent nighttime ambush, so I probably need to do that. Then I would really like to get her stress down. I can also get resolve experience up. But is that really a good idea? And it's not the worst. Because this also de-stresses. Plus crit, plus damage if they're below 50%. So Ruthlessness would be a good one. Otherwise, I don't really got much for the upcoming fights. So we'll do Ruthlessness, and then... I guess I can give plus dodge to Baliol. That way he's less likely to be hit. Because -7 stress is not going to do us much. And that gives us 4 speed, 10 dodge on Baliol for 4 fights. So that's theoretically... Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. De-stressing on Celine. Come back to this if I can. I want to make sure there's nothing in the way. Yeah, there we go. So we'll do the Crocodillian. If we're able to, I'll go back to the other Crocodillian and mop up. But I really want to see what this guy's like. Different heal. 238 health, 10 protection. Otherwise, he seems to have some of the same moves. Let's see if we can... He does have the same resistances, I believe. He is still a bloodsucker. He does have some dodge. We'll see how this goes. Let's bleed. That's a mark. Monstrous Affliction into Downpour. We are going to get rid of that bleed. Are we? So 1 for 1. Torch. Holy Water. What's the debuff? -8 accuracy for 4 rounds. And bleed cure chance down. We'll get rid of that. Crimson Downpour on him. Up. Bleed chance up. Yeah, there we go. Do not plus. There we go. Medicinal herb that. We are going to holy water you, and then we're gonna stock. That way you get amazing damage later. Holy water, medicinal herbs. You can skewer the boss. That way we get a persistent bleed on him. Eight bleed for 4 rounds. Thirst for power. That way we do more damage later. That is a 14 bleed. He's not in range, so I can't hemorrhage. So we'll just poison knife him for now, so I get my knives poisoned, just in case. It's not it's a 50-50 if I blade him, but that's fine. He's not coming any closer. That heals him. Bugger, he's stealthed. Bypassing D-stealth. 17 bleed. You're not stealthed anymore. Apex Predator what? So I really would love to do the kill on him. So we're going to ebb and flow. Get a block. Move back. Since he's still in row 3, or 2 technically, I'm going to Crimson Downpour again on him. Plus 45% damage or bleed received. Then, how bad's our bleed? 1. We're going to hemorrhage him. Plus damage received. And he's blighted. 22 bleed, 3 blight. Do not pull. Ha ha ha. Satiation is only a dream. Tell that to the Crocodillian, huh? Okay. So from here, we can gouge and do a lot. 69 damage. And then quite literally, the kill. Or I thought. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, fan of knives, he goes down.
Champion falls.
Bye-bye, Croco. See you later. It was fun. Thank you for the handkerchief for the highwayman. Plus 2 speed, plus 10 dodge. I mean, that's great and all. 1 for 1, 1 for 2. I'm really tempted to go fight the other Croco. We'll get rid of the shovel. No, I wanted that shovel. We'll use the torch, take the shovel, continue adventuring. Default order. Dig in the Bloodflowers. Take the crests. He can't blight us, so I'm going to take the deeds. Oh, this is bad. Selena's right on the cusp. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Glittering gold. Trinkets.
Oh, I needed to give him blood.
Paid for
Not the bandage. That was my bad. I spaced there. Still give me portraits. Now, I could go down and see if there's a bull rush here. But nah, we got what I wanted. So I did get 2 Crimson Court trinkets, got the cracked mask for the Legion, which was the main reason I went. Then we got the bloodied handkerchief just for taking in the Croco. I really didn't see too much of a difference in that fight, if I'm being totally honest, other than the fact that he stealthed himself. I'm not sure. I don't think them stealthing themselves was too much more of a mechanic. I mean, technically it could have been a much more of a big thing, because if he was stealth, he got a lot more of an accuracy on Apex Predator. And then the fact that he was size 2, right? I'm not crazy in the fact that my memory is being really weird today. But otherwise, he didn't seem too different. A lot of heirlooms, some money, and then, like I said, cracked mask. Heirlooms are going to be really good because I really need a lot of crests for upgrading the Hamlet. 2 diseases. So tinnitus and vampiric spirits, who'd have thought? Imposter syndrome on Selene, we do need to get rid of that. Night blindness isn't the worst thing, runes phobe is not the worst thing. Natural eye and Baliol is actually nice, penetrating can be good, and courtyard scrounger on Selene.
All my life I could feel an insistent gnawing in the back of my mind. It was a yearning.
So that is one of the 3 bosses down, and I got my Bowman. How I have been waiting for you, sir. Vatville. Let's give you a scarf. I Scarf, 'cause I like. 'Cause I like. Thought there was a blue one. Man, my memory sucks today. I thought there was a blue one, and unholy hell, I cannot use him for a while. Both Paranormia and Dark Temptation on him. So I want to get rid of both of these because they are both forced interactions, which I really hate. He does have Meticulous Striker, which can be good, and he does have minus bleed amount received, which is really good. Yeah, we'll go this one. But I got my Bowman. So, that being said, we're in a good place. So, Sanitarium, Vatville, get rid of Dark Temptation. Can't lock in Thrambonic. Celine, you need to get rid of Imposter Syndrome. And I'm actually going to lock in Early Riser. And I'm going to find someone else to put in the treatment ward. Everyone else seems to be fine. I kind of want Lucius from the Sunken Crew, so we will be going to fight them next. Because that's just right up my alley with how I'm doing this group, or this estate. So I'll go cover that really quick. So Lucius here, plus 25% damage, but you get minus 17% death blow resistance. Surely we can make a deal. Yes, Lucius, we can. So once I get this Trinket's going to be making a lot of appearances because gambling. My heroes should not be hitting Death's Door because if I am hitting Death's Door, I am doing very badly and I need to get out of there. So that's essentially I need to get out of Dodge. And I didn't realize the Garden Guardian was also available. So that's also going to be a thing that I need to make a plan for. But I think Lucius comes first. Although that Saw Hunter bat is very, very interesting looking. But we'll be going to the Sunken Crew next. I already do have a plan available for them. And we'll go from there. So I have oh no, that's the Prophet one. I have a Blight team mainly set aside for them. I may change things up slightly because I want one of the people for the Garden Guardian for the crew. So I'll probably be changing things from my plan, but that's fine. We can make slight adjustments because I totally forgot about the Garden Guardian being a repeatable boss in the early levels, and we can easily go from here. So plan is next time, Sunken Crew, get the Great Lucius Trinket, and go from there. But that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please, have a good one.